Hello, good morning.
Good afternoon, boys and girls.
All right, make sure you have your prep workout.
SREB powerful literacy practices include 6 major indicators. Each indicator, when applied to planning, instruction, and assessment, can ensure a literacy-based classroom built on deep student understanding rather than coverage of material. These indicators include designing a quality literacy-based assignment, developing a lesson sequence, establishing learning targets that measure students' level of understanding, integrating literacy strategies to support learning, integrating student discourse to support ownership of learning, and assessing students throughout the learning process. Let's take a closer look at each of these.
So let's all look over here, our task, all right? So
Designing quality assignments is essential to promote growth in the development of reading, writing, listening, speaking, and critical thinking skills.
So after reading informational text, which we've done, this is the text that we read the other day and we annotated in class about the Roman Empire and the Islamic empires. And participating in a class debate, which is what we're doing today. We're going to write an essay in which you argue which empire had the greatest impact on the world, support your position with evidence from the text. Okay, so tomorrow we will start our writing process, but today is our class debate to add to our understanding of the topic.
These assignments must be aligned to content and literacy standards that require students to read and analyze complex texts, then use the acquired information to create a written product. Quality assignments with embedded literacy should be implemented daily to increase reading and writing skills while learning the content.
Doing these kinds of writing assignments, since we're going through a process, it kind of breaks it down, and breaking it up into parts can make your essay or writing assignment a lot stronger.
Yesterday we did our Socratic seminar, and we did that to help us get to our task.
After creating a standards-based assignment, teachers must identify the specific literacy skills needed to meet the demands of the task.
I want you to have your pink sheet out from yesterday. Use that information to just fill in the boxes on the bottom.
Each must be explicitly taught through modeling and guided practice in a structured sequence to promote and demonstrate content understanding.
So I'm going to do one, and then we're going to do one together, and then you're going to work on together with your partner.
This intentional scaffolding will increase the development of reading and writing skills, leading to improved products of learning.
Turn to your partner and tell them, my topic is this, my verb is this, and these are my arguments. And go.
My topic is Islamic Empire is better than the Roman Empire. My verbs are influence and greater, and my arguments are they had real doctors instead of just supernatural explanations for diseases.
Ayana, what's your topic and your verb?
Roman Empire.
All right, the Roman Empire and your verb?
Greater influence.
Having greater influence, and what's one of your arguments?
The 12-month calendar.
Okay, so now we're going to write out our thesis statement in full sentence form, okay? And you've got the main parts right there in your boxes. You can look up here for help, but you also have that prompt help on your pink sheet.
Honestly, I have reading comprehension problems, so when I see a lot of words, I freak out and I don't thoroughly read the passage. So writing the text or questions down into sections, so I can really just get it in my mind what we just read.
I also like how that everything ties together, so I never feel like I'm learning something that I'm not going to use later on in the class or to help me be successful.
So tomorrow we're going to start working on our outline.
I can organize, and determine.
In powerful literacy classrooms, teachers introduce clear and measurable learning targets to students at the onset of the lesson.
We are going to identify causes and effects from the lab investigations that you guys just went through.
These targets are referenced throughout the lesson and formatively assessed to allow students to demonstrate and reflect on their understanding of the skill by producing an artifact of learning. This data should be utilized to make informed instructional decisions.
Why did it happen?
It was south and north poles.
Okay, so we want to make sure that when we have a what happened, we have evidence that supports it, and a why did it happen. Basically, choosing my learning targets with cognitive demands that are student-friendly and appropriate, and matching the formative assessment to that learning target helps me make sure that I know where my students are. So using data to drive instruction. And a lot of times, just the same way I tell my students, it's not always a numbers data. A lot of times it's a qualitative words kind of data. Give me an example of something that was a what happened.
The magnets attracted.
The magnets attracted. Okay, so then why it happened, we're going to be looking at what portion of the investigation sheet? Right, so we're going to be looking at our informational text evidence to support that. Okay.
Miss Lemon, when we do we have to use textual evidence for this? Or some of them like it doesn't have it didn't.
What would be your evidence for that then?
Your data
The data
table.
table.
The data tables. And you've also analyzed that, writing your conclusion there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
When we have the force got stronger and stronger because of the combined magnetic field.
So for putting the magnets on the cars, it made the cars either
Attract
repel
or contract. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are going to read and annotate this article using the Mountie 5.
In powerful literacy classrooms, students engage in synthesizing, analyzing, and evaluating complex texts as they apply appropriate literacy strategies that lead to the completion of an authentic writing assignment.
Once you're done reading and annotating, each group is going to receive a whiteboard. Using this guided question, you guys are going to develop a claim. Once you develop your claim, you're going to list all of your evidence to support your claim. And you got to provide justification for your evidence. Why did you use that data?
Teachers set a purpose and explicitly model literacy strategies that will increase the student's ability to self-select appropriate strategies for reading, writing, listening, and speaking.
Okay, and so what else could we use?
Medical care, sanitation, and food production.
Yeah, what you were saying was like right here. So do you want to use that for evidence?
Yes.
I wrote at some point, I was like, it's up to us, because that was the main point it was talking about.
Okay, so tell me why you used the evidence that you used. Okay?
I'm a visual learner, so as long as I get to see it and I get to write it down, then I remember it more easily than just for somebody just to sit in front of me and just talk about it.
What are you justifying?
Why we think that our evidence correctly answers our claim. We're reading the facts that we're actually learning about in class, and we get like a background knowledge to it, and then we can actually put our opinion on the facts that we read about that we can share with others.
This piece of evidence to prove the increased population and usage of natural resources will cause problems.
See, all those they're picking up?
Yeah.
Because of iron fillings as well.
Yeah, and because the magnet doesn't pick up like all of it.
Yeah.
Discourse that engages peers in the analysis, synthesis, and evaluation of complex texts will promote student ownership of learning that results in a deeper understanding of the key concepts, skills, and content. This allows students to internalize the information, make meaning of it, and produce an authentic writing product.
Each of these are a prime example of why overpopulation should be controlled to dissipate this threat.
Teaching was different today because it was more like independent on our part, and it wasn't a teacher standing up and lecturing to us. We had to rely on others rather than the teacher.
They're a starting point for us. I don't think we could be where we are today.
I'd have to agree as well.
Being in this class, it helps you like with other classes. So let's just give an example from my English class. We do a lot of like turning and talking with our partners and stuff when we're doing certain assignments. So it helps having a conversation and knowing how to relate with your partners when you're doing certain things.
That'll definitely be part of our claim.
It's another key tool to help with engagement in the classroom. I mean, it got people interested, it got people the knowledge they needed to start.
So how the environmental changes affect
how the population affects it.
How a population.
I'm going to get a couple of you to share out your thesis statements.
The Roman Empire has a greater influence on the world. Two main reasons I say this because
Formative and summative assessments that require students to use multiple literacy strategies to demonstrate their understanding should be included in all aspects of teaching and learning.
Some of our evidence was that because of overpopulation, the U.S. has lost 71% of topsoil.
So let me ask you this, what do you think is causing that?
They're attracting more, like, I guess because
there's more magnetic force.
There's more magnetic force.
So don't just tell us the information, make sure you explain why. The why is always really, really important.
As emphasis is placed on deeply understanding and implementing the concepts of designing a quality literacy-based assignment, developing a lesson sequence, establishing learning targets that measure students' level of understanding, integrating literacy strategies to support learning, integrating student discourse to support ownership of learning, and assessing students throughout the learning process, content and literacy understanding will increase and lead to improved student achievement. SREB is committed to providing rich tools and professional development for schools and districts committed to identifying, implementing, and enriching powerful literacy practices.